let's
And
start
live.
recording.
So,
We're gonna start with, I think it's best to sort of break down how we're gonna do this first. Basically, the order, first let's start with the order. The order of events and who we will cover will pretty much be random.
alright.
Okay, so we will do this in a random order. I will put all of the names of people that submitted their gym leaders. I'll put them in wheeldecide.com. I'll put all of the names there. I'll spin, and who it lands on will be covered next. So, for example, I roll Doxero gets covered first. If I roll Golem gets first, and then will be removed from the rolling. Basically, we'll continue like that until everyone has been covered. And then, in terms of how we will do the feedback, I will probably talk first to give Dixo a chance to read through the concepts. I think that would be good.
Yep.
Okay, and I'll put the first wheel, I'll decide to put the first three to have joined here, being Doxero, Golem, and KO. The others will be added after the fact to give more people a chance to get in here. Beckel, you were here when we had already decided to start, so I'll first spin with the rest.
And I already have all of the entries up on a, window on my computer, so...
That's great. I have all of my notes right here. I think this should be audible that I'm ticking them against my desk. I will read my thoughts, ask some questions as well, because I think with pretty much everyone I had some questions, you are free to turn on your mic and answer them when I say so. If someone is not here, I will probably DM them and see if I get a response. Because I forgot to DM them the questions earlier, so that's a bit of a problem, but I wasn't even sure if we're going to do it today, so that's just how it goes. So, I hope everyone is ready, because we're gonna roll now. Let's spin the wheel. Oh yeah, who it lands on can put on the theme they think fits as well. So if it's Golem, which funnily enough it is, he can give us a theme that we will play when we discuss his concept. Because I feel like that's a fun little edge to it. Okay, Golem, I'll grab your notes. When I have them, we will get to discussing it, and then we'll change the theme as well. Okay, I have Golem. Do you have his document open? You have his document open, Dixo?
Yep. I'm reading through it now.
Okay, then I'll get to it, and we will cover the first to be discussed. Okay, Golem. I'll start with the very first thing that I wrote down. Is it doing what I wanted to do? Is it playing the song, or is it not? Did it? I think Rhythm is bugged again. Yeah. Oh, you didn't. It wasn't even pressed. Yeah, that's a problem. It wasn't even sent to play. That's the issue. I thought you did put play in front of it, so that's my bad. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Now we have that going, and I'm going to give you some... you are allowed to do that, so that this goes for the rest of them. Anyway, first thing I wanted to say is the first thing that caught my eye is that this gym leader uses 2 identical Pokemon. Like, literally the exact same Litwick. Which leads into a question I had for you, which is that why is there a second Litwick instead of a Phantom or another weak Ghost? You could have swapped it. You could have even swapped it out with Lampent, the evolved form. I'd really like to know what your thought process was in that regard. You can answer this in text, or you can join VC and just use your mic if that's what you would prefer. Because this is what the first thing that really jumped out to me. I'm really curious as to what made you decide to do this. Voice is suppressed? Is voice suppressed in here, Dick? So
Is it?
I mean, that would make sense if it is.
Yes, it
That would
is.
make sense. Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah,
can
maybe we could. I could actually. We
temporarily
could make
make
a
it so gym
temporary.
leader.
What we could do is that we basically make a disgust rule. The disgust.
Uh,
Basically, whoever has that role can talk in here, but no one else can aside from us.
I was just going to like give the gym leader role speaking
Oh, that
permissions.
that works as well. That works as well. That's a lot. Yeah, just do that. That's easier.
Okay.
Yeah, you could use
Try
chat, but I think
now.
it's fun. Like if you can talk as well, like as lets you talk yourself. I think that's just it's just an extra option. So I think that would be fun. Anyway, Golem, what made you decide to use two Litwick instead of giving having the Litwick and a Phantom or another weak Ghost type or a Lampent?
Well, looking at other gym leaders, it's not the first time they've used multiple Pokemon of the exact same species and wool on their team. One that comes to mind is Lance with Dragonite and such. So it's not like I need to have a specifically different one for each one. And well, the Lampets are supposed to represent something more than a Phantom but the Litwicks represent something more than a Lampet or a Phantom would within the situation of how the team's set up.
Okay, but then that leads into another question: would you consider that fun to have a gym? Do you think it's like fun for a gym leader to just use the two Pokemon directly after? Because it might happen in the series, but that doesn't mean that's like a particularly a good decision.
Oh, I'll see that. Yeah, that's fair. I guess I was just going for more aesthetic than gameplay over in that situation, though. You do bring up a good point how maybe that's not as exciting for a fight.
Okay, that answered it though. That's a good question, good thing. And then another thing regarding the Litwig, and I think that's the second to last question I had is why don't the Litwig have a fire move?
Why don't they have a fire move?
Yeah, a fire move, as they are part fire type. So I thought that like that could give them something interesting to, well, at least something else to fight back. Like they didn't even have Emperor or anything like that, as far as I can remember. So it felt a bit odd to have these fires that could easily give you like a way to combat normal types, or at least like deal damage to them. But they didn't, and I'm curious as to what made you decide to do that.
Well, yeah, it's mostly supposed to be a ghost thing. They're supposed to be the lights you see off in the distance, the destroying
Oh,
anything.
will o wisps.
Yeah, that's why the only fire move they do have is literally Will-O-Wisp.
Okay, good.
That's what
That's
they're
cool.
distracted. The distraction
Okay.
is supposed to be kind of just like throw you off.
Okay. Then I want to mention one of the biggest pluses. You drew the gym leader yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, my friend helped with the rough sketch at first, and then I fleshed it out. I learned how to draw, and I fleshed it out in a reference sheet.
Okay, I want to mention that as like a big bonus because that's a lot of effort to put in, which is I find to be really commendable. So I would like to like at least mention it because I think it's a really good thing to give that extra bit of effort.
And
Anyway,
Thank you.
and now that I'm done reading through it, the first thing that immediately jumps to mind is I think this is the old. If we look at all of the canon Kalos gym leaders, then this little girl is the first gym leader in Kalos to actually have all four moves on any of her Pokemon. And I
she
find that
does.
low-key really funny, considering that she still has the Kalos difficulty of just do something simple and in this case, bring a normal type, which is
Yeah,
fitting
that was actually one of the big negatives I wrote down. Is that like a normal type? If you can run in with a Bidoof and it will just not die because they can't hit it. Like it could be status, but like the Pokemon of the gym leader can't kill a Bidoof with an attacking move,
Uh,
which is funny, but also it gives you such a big weakness that I think it's like, especially for like an optional boss, which
okay,
leads into like a question at
for
why isn't this like a hidden super boss? Because like it represents like an ancient gym leader. Like it's optional. You have to go out of your way to find them, which leaves me with the question: why didn't you go the hidden super boss route? Like make this like a actually challenging gym leader in Kalos with fully evolved mons and a massively horrifying. Well, not massively horrifying, but a very intimidating team.
Actually, there is one thing. The one Pokemon that has 4 moves, Gourgeist has Trick or Treat, which adds a Ghost type status to any Pokemon.
Hmm. Yeah, but how does that affect normal types then? Does that give them like normal ghost, or does that make them like just ghost?
I think it makes them normal ghost.
Yeah, in
Also,
that case, they are still immune to ghost type moves.
also, I understand why you see that as a negative, but because I'll still let you continue your answer once I say this, Golem, if there's more you want to say, but I just want to point out that to me, because this is Kalos, that's actually a plus in my book. Because
Okay.
Kalos was, like, pathetically easy, so making even an optional boss just that cheesable is actually really funny to me and so fitting of that region.
Yeah, I will agree on that. That is fitting for it. I mean, I haven't played Kalos or much of the games, but yeah, that makes sense in that regard. That makes sense.
uh,
I
Yeah,
agree.
another. I actually want
Oh,
to go with something that I noticed in the core concept of like the characters that you combine the ghost girl with a gym leader, and I thought that was a really clever idea. I really like that, and with her like the backstory of it, like she is like a young girl that vanished looking for her doll, and her ace is a mega bayonet. I think that's really clever. Like that little detail, like yeah, she found her doll in the afterlife. That's sort of like you can infer that from. I like it a lot. I like the character
uh, you just got
basically
super far away from your mic, dude.
trope in Pokemon. Something.
Uh, you, you good?
you there, Connie?
But he went out.
Connie, you might want to jump out and jump back into the voice chat.
That's
We
really
can't hear you.
appreciated because it gives me some decision to decide. I think we should roll thoughts on to make sure to get through these because we do have some time.
I'm sure he'll look at chat eventually.
Yeah.
You
Well,
couldn't hear
one
me.
one thing I wanted to really say was just
Oh my Discord.
about the super difficult thing was just that in terms of Pokemon that doesn't make sense because of one you have if there's a super difficult boss, why don't they then go and become champion if they're that much more powerful than them?
Okay, now I can hear you again. Discord was messing up on my end. Sorry. So like, I couldn't hear you just for a bit.
We couldn't hear you either, it's okay.
Yeah, that happens with Discord on my end. Anyway, you were answering the question as why you went with the not a hidden super boss route, and I think it was like because otherwise they would be a champion
Yeah, it's just like
in
if they're
terms
super
of what they
powerful,
would
why
be.
not? Yeah, if they're super powerful, why not go for that? And then again, in the story, it's like, well, this is a little girl and such. There won't be much of a reason for them to be like this super powerful thing, and it's supposed to be just like optional side quests if you want to do it. Nothing that you're like forced to do. You don't have to go through a giant test to get there. It's just like, hey, there's a creepy place that some people like to check out.
Yeah, I get. Okay, I get
I
that.
I like the idea that uh if I'm understanding correctly, I like the idea that this little girl or that this gym leader isn't particularly strong despite being mid game because small child doesn't understand Pokemon strategy.
Yeah, that's cool. But I think that with the, I want to say one thing with like the hidden super boss angle. I actually would have said that it. I think it would have been better because like you have to go out of your way to find this, and well, the easy reason for her to not be the champion is that she just can't get out of the house. We could add like that extra creepy layer that she mentioned something about not being able to leave. You could justify her being really really scary. You could also like split it up, have her strength vary depending on the strength of the trainer. There's I don't know. I feel like the if you have to go out of your way for something that I feel like that would have been interesting, but it's not a negative. It's just a question as to why. I get the reasoning and I kind of agree with it, but I still think that the hidden super boss would have been really interesting for combining two like a very obscure thing with Pokemon with like one of the main gimmicks, especially since the badge doesn't even. I don't think it even gives you that much, does it?
It does
If I'm
say in
remembering
the
right.
extra facts that the badge is basically just cosmetic.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like it doesn't do anything, so like you get like a badge of honor for beating the biggest leader. Anyway, I think we should move on to like the overall thoughts on this to get through to the next one. So I'll give my my closing statement on your concept. It's a really cool idea that I felt was held back by a gaping offensive hole that makes it too easy to cheese. A great submission that needs some minor adjustments to be even better.
Uh, and on my end, what I'll say is my own closing statement is that the setup for this gym and the backstory behind it is actually very similar to a short story I wrote once regarding Pokemon, so I have a little bit of bias enjoying it there. Um, but as far as like the atmosphere you have set up with this gym uh the uh and the little story that plays out for it, I personally think makes up for the fact that this is a Kalos difficulty gym leader. Uh and that
I get that.
I,
I
I
get
think
that. Yeah.
I think as long as and I think that in my personal book, uh it's okay to have a gym may even they not unless it's like late game. I think it's okay to have an optional thing like this that does have some super obvious weakness, as long as everything surrounding that side quest is good. And while I would like a little more information on how this gym looks, because I don't remember off the top of my head how much of what you have described here is stuff actually in X and Y and how much is stuff made up for this context. Uh that um everything that I feel like with a little more detail of just the stuff surrounding the with stuff just about the gym itself, this has the potential to just be a delightfully spooky thing.
Yeah, it does. I will say that like the concept is really cool and the idea is amazing. though I feel like it lacks a few things.
Me and
And
Carney just
as I
differ
noted,
on
there are
how
some
much
things.
the difficulty of the gym matters. I think.
No, it's
It-
not particularly like the difficulty. The thing here is that I think I think it's just a bit too easy to cheese because like normal types are so plentiful. Like it's you could just pick up a random Bidoof somewhere and the gym is just void.
I mean,
well, one thing I wanted to mention was that the area that it's based on, where it is literally right outside Lumio City. So you'd be taking this on around maybe third, fourth, fifth gym. It's around those levels
all right.
because it's literally
All right.
the route. Right, it's one of the routes right outside of Lumio City. It's not too far from it.
Oh, so it's really early on. Yeah, that makes it like less of a problem. But I still think like even then, I feel like even the early game gym leaders, they are all. I think all of them are able to hit pretty much every type. Then like I don't think any of them have some moves that are just that they can't. There aren't any types that they just can't hit. I don't think that problem is really there. Well, with this one, there would be like you could have a full team of Pokemon that it
I
just can't
mean,
hit.
keep in mind that smog does damage.
It
I
yeah,
mean, it's base 20, but it does damage.
it does.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna move on to the next one. So I'm gonna apply the wheel changes, and we'll spin between Kaio, Beckel, Daxero, and Zendikar. So let's see who we get.
Do 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 do.
It jumped to Daxero. Duke showed up.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
Well, Daxero's up next. Daxero, feel free to start some music that you think fits your leader, and then we can discuss it. Oh, if you don't have a lot of time, Zendikar, we could cover you next, or Duke. I'm calling you Zendikar because that was what I have labeled on my little list.
Okay,
Also,
that
as I
one's
mentioned, there is one with no negatives. I'll mention who that is when we get to it. So, yeah, I'll mention that again because I did have one negative with Doxero. It's not a big one, but it is something that I noted as a negative. Okay, you posted it. You could just okay. I'm gonna. Oh, it's a remix. You will have to credit that in the description then.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give my thoughts on Doxero, and then you can cover it. So let's start with the first thing I noted, and that's that the background it is strong and it really fits him. I like what you did with the character as a whole. Like the like as a surfer, it's a bit typical, but he's super likable. And then there's like also like you like this you explain your decisions, which Golem did as well. Everything you did, well, at least a lot of things you did, you went out of your way to explain. Like Dox's hero is just in the Sacred Submissions. Anyway, Dox, the one little thing I noted as a negative, I'll give you first. And that's a small little missed opportunity by not making the gym challenge all about surfing. Like his big deal is that he's a surfer and he has surfing involved, and I feel like it's just a bit of a missed opportunity to not have him do anything with surfing. Like it's the surfer, he surfs is his whole thing. Yet the gym challenge doesn't involve it, and I feel like that's a bit of a missed opportunity. So yeah, But regarding surfing, you made surf the signature move and the HM you get from this, which that is a great idea. Like I just love that. Like the surfer, the main move he uses is surfing. That's a cool idea, detail. I will also like to say that you clearly put a lot of effort in. You made teams regardless of the level, which is just that level of effort is not something I expected anyone to really go through, but you did, and I find that to be a big positive. So I would like to highlight that as something that you did that's really good. Another thing that I noted as a positive is that you can counter weaknesses. You are capable of, like, if you have something that can counter pretty much everything that would be able to just snipe your entire team. Which means that the player will have to at least consider bringing more than just a grass type or just an electric type, because there's something that can counter everything here. Even on some of the monsters, I think that have like, I think there's like at least something they can hold to defend themselves, which is great. Then let me see. Also, you managed to balance them well, regardless of the level, which is great. You did a lot of good things here. It's a really good. I remember reading it and being just. I remember looking at this and thinking, yeah, this is amazing. Anyway, Dixo, have you read the full thing yet, or?
I have read everything except for like the exact team details. Which one thing I will say is that the moment I read the backstory and actual gym leader info, the first thing that came to my mind was, yeah, this guy and Brawly would probably be friends. I could see them, like, surfing to and from each other's towns to see each other.
That would be, like, a funny little detail to see him surf. I do like that he's, like, more like a surfer first. If I remember it well, he's, like, a surfer first and then a gym leader. I remember it correctly. Yeah.
Oh, this is a website I didn't know existed. I will keep that. PokePaste. That's a site I will use at some point in the future. So
probably.
Another thing that came to mind, that I'll mention while looking at the different team variants, is that, how dare you be more clever than I am? With having it so you have to beat every single trainer on the beach to challenge him?
That is clever, yeah. Also, I will say that I like that he went into. We need to. Could you pick another theme as well? I want to say one thing that I found to be really funny is the reason that Barraskewda's on the team. It being seafood.
Oh yeah,
That was just that made me actually really laugh. That's amazing. I love that little, like, all the other ones are great, like little things. And with Mantine, you mentioned like the Mantine surf mini game, which made me think, yeah, why isn't that like a gym challenge as well? Like you could easily have some trainer that just says, "I will only battle you if you do so well in the surfing competition. You have to win a surfing comp." Maybe you could even say that you have to that the player needs to beat the gym leader with surfing in order to challenge the gym leader.
it
Dad had asked me, who would you associate with seafood? That's cool.
uh that I love that was actually just the thing that the the little glimpses into the thought process behind making this, my what Hello,
that's
how
something
have
that
we
I.
not talked before? uh,
I do think like his something that I really really like is that he actually that a lot of people actually did. Not everyone went into like just giving me exactly why they chose every Pokemon they have, and I really do like that a lot. Also, I should just open the documents because I still have them on my PC. Why am I looking at the at the drive?
um, one thing that immediately popped out at me regarding like the actual teams, specifically the post game team, um, is
Oh, that's
that
loud. That's loud. That's loud.
is
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
that
Yeah, Rhythm is a pain. I'm just gonna do a little thing to make sure that that won't happen and destroy everyone's ears again. Oh, the title is here as well.
uh one thing it it should be unlocked for gym leaders.
Yeah, it should, but we're gonna let them talk later.
Uh so oh yeah, what I was about to say is one thing that really caught my eye looking at the teams, specifically the World Tournament team, is the way you used items. Um, with most of the team not really having one, and instead focusing in hard on just taking advantage of Swift Swim, but opening with Drizzle Pelipper with a Damp Rock, and then
Yeah, that was really
having
clever. Yeah.
a Mega Swampert as the ace. Uh, um, to just once all of your setup is in place, especially given, especially looking at how what you have going on for setup in this team with Wonder Room and Aqua Ring, it is a little more aggressive than I thought than I thought a gym leader with that personality set would do, but I understand why someone who is focused more on doing things for fun wouldn't go with a very setup heavy team.
I do like that he actually like uses rain. That's just like it's such an obvious move for a water type leader, but I feel like it's just smart.
I mean, if you're in Hoenn, then you have a Wingull. You don't even need to catch it. It just shows up in your PC at some point. That's just how it is.
Where did
in
this
Hoenn.
Wingull come from? I hate those.
It's
Duh.
it's just a thing that happens in Hoenn. You get off the boat, a Wingull sits on your head, it's yours now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess I have a Wingull now. That's great.
And he decided, well, this Wingull is actually kind of cool, let's use it.
Yeah, and that's just how it works. Anyway, I think we should move to the overall thoughts. So I'll give what I wrote down when I first read it. It's okay. It's a consistently good submission with a missed opportunity as the only negative. Really blew it out of the water because I had to make that pun. Like, Doxero, you did amazingly. You can really be proud of what you had.
Yeah, this is... I really have nothing else to say on this. This is just good. I like the mental image. I miss Emerald.